MMA Weekly News in it. Listen. Yeah, so big stories this week. I'm not going to spend too much time on the first one, really. The Roy Jones Jr. and the Silva talk continues, even though Silva's not even sure if he's going to come back at this moment, but the talk still rumbles on. Um, George St. Pierre will be getting a wax statue. Um, It's gonna be in Canada, Canada. Yeah, be in Canada. I presume. I'm not sure where. I presume it'll be like in one of their, in like a Madame Tussauds or something. Dana White came out and he said that um, Chris Weidman will be the pound for pound number one if he beats Vitor Belfort. I'm not sure if that's the case because I think Renan Barral will be number one if he beats Faber. And maybe if Weidman beats Belfort, he'll go above. But I'm sure Barral will have a fight soon after that to put himself back as world number one. We're going to get on to a bit more of the exciting news right now. Probably, if you keep hearing some fucking bleeping noise, that's my motherfucking phone going off. My bitch won't shut off, innit? Um, this is the most exciting news story I've heard all week, and obviously I've just done a video about the George Groves Cole Froch fight, but this is probably more exciting than that. A rabbi won his first MMA fight. He never hits anyone in the head. He's very cautious. He doesn't throw his hardest punches, but he still managed to get the win. Imagine if the guy went at full tilt. Everyone was telling him he was being too nice, and the reason he done this is to encourage security and fitness among the Jewish community. So yeah, well done for this rabbi. I can't believe that story, but that's a great feel good story there. Um, Less good news for the MMA. There's a chance that the Super Bowl could go head to head with UFC 169. You must be thinking, what the fuck? Well, there's talks that they could move it because there's apparently going to be a snowstorm. But yeah, I don't think it will take place on the first. It's more like they're more likely that it will go head to head with 179, which won't be good. But I can't see it moving it. You know, whether it's bad, if the weather's bad, get out there. You get paid enough motherfucking money. Fucking play in the snow. I don't give a fuck. But that won't be good for the UFC. That will fucking kill the pay-per-view buy rates. And Dana White jokingly said that he'll move it to the Monday. Ahead of Saturday's fight, Donald Cerrone has actually stated that he can't. He didn't even know, hadn't even heard of his opponent. Had your own minds. I have, and that's going to be a tough fight for you, Donald. So I wouldn't take this one lightly, buddy. Um, Ross Pearson's is out of his fight with Melvin Gillard. Michael Johnson will step up. He's been looking for a fight for a while. In one of the other fights which someone pulled out of lately, he offered to step up, but this was a huge fight for him, and he weren't going to get that fight. But he got his name out there, and now has got a good test against Gillard. Um, Justin Bieber got arrested. Dana White commented, kind of coming to the kid's defense, saying if he had that money at that age, he'd be dead. He said it's crazy, but he's a bit upset that he didn't buy the Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman pay-per-view. Gabriel Gonzaga will be hoping that his win leads to a title shot this weekend against Steve Miocic. More shit about how Dana White used to beat up Tito Ortiz and about the boxing match and shit. That sort of rumbled on a little bit more this week. Another good piece of news, really. Anthony Pettis will be returning around July time. Probably more towards August, I'd say. But he's hoping for a July return. That'd be great to see. Because I like Anthony Pettis. Got the world title and then got injured. That's sad for the kid. Because you want to be out there building your stock. Showing that you're a great champion. And this is the time to get yourself up there as pound for pound number one. With the people gone at the top. This is these young guys' chance to be the face of the company. That's what they always say in the WWE. The face. I'd rather be the arse of the company, but hey, that's me. Adriano Martins, in more bitching in the Martins and Cerrone fight. Martins earlier in the week said that he is looking at Cerrone as a shortcut to the top 10. So these guys clearly looking past each other. And I think this is going to turn into a war maybe in the ring. Because I don't think either of these guys know what they're getting in for if that's their mentality going into this fight. Vitor Belfort looks to be on the way to use more drugs. He loves the gear right in the veins. Yeah, you dirty junkie, loves it. He'll knock you out if he can't get his gear. That's why he's been knocking people out so much lately. He needs to get back to the locker room, shoot up. Junkie. Yeah, he's actually applying to use TUE, which it's not TRT. It's not as strong, but it still does increase your levels. This is because he says he has levels way under normal of testosterone when he's off the gear, probably because he's done so much of the gear. Junkie. I like Vitor Belfort. I should stop digging at him. He's a great fighter, but junkie. And one of the bigger, it ain't this week. It's been rumbling on for weeks as well, like many of the stories. It's definitely possible that Brock Lesnar could return to the UFC. I don't know. It depends what his WWE contract says, but I don't. I think he's a part-time guy. I think WWE would allow this. It gives them great exposure, And lately, you've seen a lot of UFC fighters talking about WWE. A lot of WWE talkers fighting about UFC. Kind of, they hate Spike TV. That's one thing they've got in common. They hate Spike TV and their shitty products with Bellator and TNA. And yeah, I think they found common ground on that. And they look to be a bit more infused than ever before. Even Dana White was complimenting them on their WWE network and stuff, talking about Vince, and then joked about how Vince hated him. That was a great interview if you could go. And he mentions the Brock Lesnar stuff on there. Do I see it happening? Yes. For one fight, I do. I think he will be back for one fight. Who against? I don't know. I'd like to see him fight Carwin. I think that's a great fight. If they've both been out, that'll be a fair fight. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar go into the UFC and get smashed. It looks bad for him. It looks bad for the UFC. Yeah, well, it don't look bad. It looks great for the UFC. It looks bad for him and bad for the WWE. But yeah, I do totally see that maybe one day happening. Maybe this year, probably not. Maybe next year. That's your weekly MMA news. Holla! Holla!